मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्म एधि वेदस्य मआणीस्थ श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Om. May my speech be firmly established in my mind. May the mind too be firmly established in my speech. O self-effulgent Lord, be revealed in my consciousness. Let the truths of the scriptures come to me. May not what I learn from them ever forsake me. Let me live my life day and night according to their teachings. I shall speak what is appropriate. I shall speak the truth. May that protect me. May that protect the teacher. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Let us now pray together. We offer our salutations to the all-loving being who endows all beings with consciousness. We meditate on the Lord, who is the origin of the universe. Lord, thou abidest in all, thou art all, thou assumest all forms. Thou art the origin and goal of all. Thou art the self of all. Thou art existence, knowledge, and bliss. Salutations unto thee. May the world be peaceful. May the wicked become gentle. May all creatures think of mutual welfare. May their minds be occupied with what is spiritual and abiding. May our hearts be immersed in selfless love for the Lord. Peace, peace. Peace be unto all. Let us feel the center of our being. Our innermost consciousness. Transcending the body and the mind. All the disturbances, all flittering attractions and aversions are gone. restrictions, limitations on my awareness are gone. I see it is self-effulgent. I am witnessing that infinite, intense effulgence, but it is not scorching at all. In fact, I am experiencing its incomparable soothing effect. I am seeing the truth. I am seeing the God. I am seeing the God as I open my eyes, pervaded in everything. I am seeing the God that is still, does not move, and yet moves within everything that moves. This is the ultimate peace and love of transcendent oneness. Om, peace, peace, peace. Om Brahma me tumam Madhu me tumam Brahma meva Madhu me tumam Brahma me dhaya Madhu me dhaya Brahma meva Madhu me dhaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the absolute, all-pervading existence, the Brahman, be realized by us. May the bliss absolute be realized by us. May the all-pervading existence, the Brahman, which is also the bliss absolute, be realized by us. May we realize the absolute existence by purification of our understanding. May we realize the bliss absolute by purification of our understanding. May we realize the absolute existence which is also the bliss absolute through purification of our understanding. Om, peace, peace, peace. There is this question that crops up all the time in the discussion on religion, that it all deals with something that is unknown, unknowable. It is just matter of believing something. And since even if we decide to believe, question is what to believe. There are innumerable opinions from different religious disciplines. Different books tell us to believe in different things. And there are again various scholars. They have different meanings. Then there are those who say there is nothing such like a God or such thing. So, unless we experience it, there is no tangible evidence of there is something that is like God. Or therefore something like religion. It is okay that for some moral purposes we believe, we accept certain religious conventions just for our day-to-day functioning. They are just the moral standards. There is nothing beyond it to what is called religion. Like we all hear from our childhood in the moral lessons that one should speak truth, one should help each other, and so forth. One should have the proper manners and etiquettes while behaving with each other. All those things are given in the school books, in the kindergarten. But that's enough. What more is there to religion? There is, because it all deals with things that we cannot comprehend, we cannot actually see, experience. Moreover, they are again warring, on warpath with each other. They create more disturbance. It is therefore, unless there is a way to see the God, it cannot be. The religions are of not much use, except some social moral institutions. They do some good work and all that about it. But this question needs to be therefore addressed. Can God be seen? And in fact, the God again and again comes in human form to teach us this important thing, that God has to be seen and God can be seen. For example, you see in Bhagavad Gita, so many times this word comes that God can be seen through devotion, through knowledge. The God can be seen that jnatum drashtum cha tatvena, that it is, you can see, you can know as the God is, you can actually drashtum. And then praveshtum cha parantapa, you can drashtum means you can see, and praveshtum you can become one with that you are God, you are divine. It is to be seen, and we are not able to see it only because of one single reason, very simple single reason. It is not very complicated. Forget, friends, that religion means lot of complicated doctrines we have to study. No, it is. There is nothing simpler in the world than this. That only because of the impurity in our device of perception, we are not able to see God. Just cleanse it and you will see God. Isn't it the case if your, say, mirror has lot of dust on it? Then can you, even if you stand in front of it, it is not going to show you your face. Now, what is to be done? It is, does it mean that you don't exist? You exist, but you are not able to see yourself because the apparatus of seeing is not functional there. That apparatus is to be properly cleansed. You clean the mirror and you see the image. They initially say one layer of dust is removed, you start seeing something. Then you further clean it. As it gets cleaned, you see it more and more. Many times it happens, say the mirror in my bathroom, that when I take shower, it all gets full of fog. The moisture covers it. And even if I stand in front of it, I don't see anything. But as the moisture goes down, when I take a cloth and wipe it, then I can see. So exactly that is how our apparatus, inner apparatus, that is not clean. That is why that message of Jesus, that blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Just note what Jesus says, God can be seen, is implicit there. It is told. And not only that, how to see that has also been told, that pure in heart, for they shall see God. It is not for nothing that Swami Vivekananda says that if this one statement remains and everything in all books in the world are destroyed, if this one statement remains, that statement will be able to support the mankind. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. God has to be seen. This main purpose of religion gets just covered in lot of under the huge burden of many rituals, many customs, and the social, economic and political things. And therefore religion, yes, is taken just on faith. Yes, we have to believe and continue with that. Yes, I go to church or synagogue or mosque or temple or wherever. That's it. It is to be done as a matter of tradition, as being religious. I am religious, so I do that. And then the purpose, again, certain things are invented. Oh, whether it is true or not, you feel peaceful when you go there. That's good enough. And also, maybe who knows, but when we pray to God, God gives us those things that, give me these lot of money, keep me healthy, let coronavirus does not come anywhere near me, and so forth. We pray, and if it happens, good. So our prayers, we say, get answered. Religion is helpful. Moreover, it becomes for many a point of socialization, coming together. We like to come together and use various ways for that. So a religious gathering, yes, we meet people there. We get connected on various planes. That yes, we struck a business deal there and we met at Vedanta Society and just we got into talking, and so I found somebody who can fix my roof, because that roofer and myself, we were in the same church, and as we were having a chat over coffee, I was telling some that look, that is a very big church, and that is a newly built big coffee room there. It is that is because more people come there, and so you used get into some business deal. We come together, and so the religious places become important for the exchange of views on various levels. And therefore, you see also during the election times, the candidates, they go to churches so that they can meet those people and put their views across them. Oh, how I am the best candidate and I must be voted, I must get elected for your own good. So they impress that. So religious places are used for all these things, except that God is to be experienced. God has to be seen. The central message of religion is not mentioned at all. That, okay, we have to work to remove the social inequality. We should advance the agenda of this green energy and so forth. They are all good things. That social equality has to be promoted. Excellent, good idea. But is that the purpose of religion as such? The main idea is to see the ultimate truth, the God. The whole life is just for that one purpose, to see the truth. The other things are secondary, but when this primary purpose of religion gets covered under the heap of so many other things, the religion starts becoming meaningless. It is just an appendage of the, say, institutions for social welfare, education, and so forth. So that is, and thus it doesn't have much meaning that was to connect that religion to the original experience of the great incarnations of God who saw God and saw that seeing God alone is to be seen. That alone is the purpose of human life. That is the only purpose of human life. This is a very important idea. It is, as we were reading in the morning letters of Swami Vivekananda, he mentions that unless the people they see this truth, unless their minds are tuned to this higher reality, the wealth of the whole world will not be able to remove the poverty of even a single village. Not possible, because the drag keeps on increasing for more and more and more. So even a single village cannot be made prosperous, even if the wealth of the whole world is put into it, because the mind remains the same. It has been mentioned in many Vedantic books that all these people will not be able to satisfy the sex desire for a single person also. If a man is given all the women, still he will not be able to be satisfied, reverse as well. So it is like that. The only purpose, only thing in life that has to be directed, the mind has to be directed to that, is experience God. And why this happens is quite obvious to guess, that it is not possible to see God. We try, where is God? I don't see anywhere. And since it cannot be seen, we make it, a very clear, so to say, a clear understanding to us that God cannot be seen. We may give some concession that some sages may see God, but I am not a sage after all. I am not saint. I will not be able to see God. We come to this conclusion and then do not bother about it. It is because the other things in the life, they are so very important. That is how the nations, the ignorance, changes everything. All priorities get completely distorted, turned on the head, as it were. That which is most important appears to be least, if at all, important. That's seeing God, becoming one with God. That is considered to be not important. Important is to get our livelihood, more and more of it, and just become more important in the society, and in various ways attain to more name, fame, and sensual pleasures. There, it boils down to that. So God, forget about it. That is how the attitude starts happening. That is why the incarnations come again and again. God assumes human form again and again to underscore, underline, highlight this important aspect, most important aspect, that God can be seen. And Sri Ramakrishna, in the whole of his teachings, his life was centered around that only single idea, God. A man, that is why he is sometimes termed as intoxicated, God intoxicated. Means everything was just full of God. Other things are of just secondary consequence, that's all. God is the most important thing in life because God exists and everything else is just a passing show. It is an appearance coming and going. God alone is. That was his experience, unflinching experience, and he would give that understanding to others every now and then in every meeting. That is one thing I noticed in that collection, Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. First I had read it in Marathi language, and then you see that sentence repeating again and again. God realization is the goal of human life. It is emphasized again and again that human life is for realization of God. Other things there, it is that is not the purpose. So this thing Sri Ramakrishna would stress again and again, and of course people would tell that God cannot be seen, and he would tell them God can be seen. Now seeing God, like seeing anything that you are not able to see now, you have to take some steps, understand those steps, what is to be done. Like if you move on the street here, you don't see an elephant. So, is something like an elephant is? Of course. Can I see? Yes, you can see. There is the zoo not too far away. Just drive to the zoo and you will be able to see the elephant. You have to do that. You have to take some efforts to see that which you are not able to see now. Some efforts are to be taken. I am not able to see God right now. Okay, accepted. I am not able to see God right now. But can that be seen? Or I should just be convinced that God doesn't exist? It is no different that just because I am not seeing the elephant in this room. Of course, allegorically speaking, many times we don't see the elephant in the room. But it is, if we are not able to see, come on, that don't conclude that elephant is not there. Sri Ramakrishna's great example was, it doesn't come in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, in the his in other books where his sayings have been recorded. In sayings of Sri Ramakrishna, this example comes that now if you look at the skies, you don't see any stars. All just plain blue. today is that kind of a day that you see the plain blue color. Are there stars? No, no. Those who speak about the star and all that, they are stupids. They do not understand anything. There are no stars. Where are they? Come on, show. Now it has to be told, well, wait. This dazzling effect of the bright sunlight is not letting you see the stars that exist. Sri Ramakrishna would say, do you, now since this is something that is very tangible, we see stars every night. And we know that even during the day, they are there only because of the dazzling sunlight. We are not able to see that. It happens when the other light becomes prominent, we don't see the other things, like driving at night. If the car coming from the front has big headlights coming right into your eyes, then you don't see what's on the other side of the road. Does it mean that there is nothing on the other side of the road? There is, but you don't see it. Yeah, and accidents happen like that. So, it is just because I don't see doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And just because I am not able to see now does not also mean that I cannot see. I must see, and that can be done. So, Sri Ramakrishna, I am quoting some conversations from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. He was so convinced of the existence of God, that God is, I am seeing the God in everything, everywhere. But the special feature of Sri Ramakrishna, that he comes down to our level. And not only Sri Ramakrishna is seeing God everywhere, he is also aware that I am not able to see. That is where the teachership becomes possible. If a teacher who knows everything but is not able to connect to the students, then that person cannot teach. It is might be a very highly knowledgeable person, but cannot share this knowledge with others, because cannot come down to the level of the students. Sri Ramakrishna had this awareness that God alone is all this. He has expressed it so many times. And yet he had the capability of coming to our awareness and getting connected to us, where was able to understand that we people are not able to see that God. So it's like that. It is once I was shown a picture at one house. I had gone there for some program. In fact, the program was in a big hall, but after the program, we went to have supper at this gentleman's house, and then on the wall there was a picture, nice painting. And then the painting, nice, but nothing very extraordinary in it. He said that there is this, you know what the picture is? I said, well, seems to be some nice scenery. A road is going, there is the mountain, and there is the tree and all there. He said, there is the picture of a great man there. Where is the great man? Do you mean I could not see any great man? And he said, look carefully. And then somehow my vision changed, and I saw the picture of Rabindranath Tagore there. Ah, the trunk of the tree became his beard and all that, they all it became really clear that it is Rabindranath Tagore's picture. And then as I saw the Rabindranath Tagore's picture, the scenery disappeared. So, when you see all this as God, then you see God alone, because God alone is there. The vision needs to be corrected in a way. This is just a correction. That man, had that man not told me, I wouldn't be able to see God or that Rabindranath Tagore there. It is. It would be just a scene. So this is all like that. But it is all actually God. That is what Sri Ramakrishna does. See clearly. And he tells what needs to be done for that. What steps are to be taken for that? He says, and I am quoting from page, I think 157, a conversation that happened in November 1882. Let me tell you one thing. God can be seen. And let us imprint it. Let us carve it in stone on our awareness. God can be seen. What? Yona say, God can be seen. Let all of us repeat loudly. God seen. Thank you. God can be seen. Very important thing. Because when God can be seen, we can direct efforts in that direction. If the underlying when God cannot be seen, then it is foolish to make any efforts in that direction. God can be seen. So Sri Ramakrishna tells, let me tell you one thing, God can be seen. The Vedas say that God is beyond mind and speech. The meaning of this is that God is unknown to the mind attached to worldly objects. Exactly like that, when my mind was attached to the various things in that picture, like the road, the tree, its branches, a little hut was there, and all that. I could not see the picture of Rabindranath Tagore in that. Just the mind changed. And then I saw that it is the picture of Rabindranath Tagore. This is a very special form of visual art that does these things, that deals with these things. So it is. And then he quoted that it is Vaishnav Charan, one of the saintly figures in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, who was one of a few early souls who certified that Sri Ramakrishna is incarnation of God. He was a great scholar of the scriptures connected to Vaishnavism, also a devout religious practitioner. So, Sri Ramakrishna quotes from him, Vaishnav Charan used to say, God is known by the mind and intellect that are pure. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Therefore, it is necessary to seek the company of holy men. Now, where do we get the purification impact? it is by associating with things which are holy. The holy people, holy men. It is, and for that, it is not a particular person per se that you meet and oh, that is holy person. We should be receptive to the holiness. Otherwise, even if we are in that company, we will not get it. It is Sri Ramakrishna was staying in Dakshineshwar. Swami Sardanandaji comments upon this, that it is not enough that the person, some holy person is staying there, you are staying there. There will be some effect, but need not be. That so many people were staying in Dakshineshwar at that time, the various officers, maintenance people of that temple, they were seeing Sri Ramakrishna all the time. But their life did not undergo much change. It is those who had the receptivity to this, they got changed. So we have to open up that receptivity for the holy company, that we have to open up our mind to receive that. And that is very important, that he says, therefore it is necessary to seek the company of holy men, practice prayer. The holy company alone as such, is in many cases, as I mentioned, not enough. There should be practice of prayer. Practice prayer and listen to the instructions of the Guru. It is all these three then together become effective in making us get the influence of purity into us. These purify the mind. Therefore, Sri Ramakrishna did not say only holy company. For some, only holy company, because they are receptive to it, will be enough. But for others, these three together are necessary. Dirt can be removed from water by purifying agent. Then one sees one's reflection in it. One cannot see one's face in a mirror if the mirror is covered with dirt. After the purification of the heart, one obtains divine love. And then what happens by purification of heart? One gets divine love. This love, the bhakti, in Bhagavad Gita again and again you say, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. By bhakti, by devotion you realize it. Yavan yaschasmi tattvataha, how I really am. How do you know this? Bhaktya. That bhakti has to be there. And what is bhakti? Love for God. And the love that is frittered away in letting it go in various directions, that needs to be stopped. And let it all be directed to God. That is the way. So, it is said that after the purification of heart, one obtains divine love. Then one sees God. That is how the love of the God, that will divine love. He mentions this in Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna several times, that one passage is simply so sublime that it transforms the whole person. Now these eyes become the eyes of love. All different ears become the ears of love. The whole personality gets transformed. He says even the sex organs become the organs of love. The communication, connectedness happens there that with the love of God. It is the divine communion happens there. The whole personality becomes a personality of love. It is Sri Ramakrishna's personality was like that. He was saying it from his own very profound experience of God and of love. So it is, and then he says, it is later, sometimes in 1985, April 1985, 1885, sorry, it is, this conversation has happened, that master is saying to Girish that who can comprehend everything about God? And we become very philosophical unnecessarily. It is, we have just a little intelligence and want to know who said what this about God, who said that about God, what this Parmenides say about God, what the Socrates said about God. Keep on collecting the information. This opinion about God, that opinion about God, dualism, non-dualism, semi-dualism, make hundreds of divisions. Sri Ramakrishna said to Girish, who was a very intelligent person, that don't waste efforts in that direction. He gives a very nice analogy. That I really feel that is the most important part of that we should concentrate on what I need. We need not see, when you go to a mall, you go and buy what you need, isn't it? You don't buy the whole mall and bring with you. That what is the need to know everything about God? It is not given to man to know any aspect of God, great or small. And what need is there to know everything about God? It is enough if we only realize Him. If we see God, God becomes real for us. Seeing means it must become real for us. Not something that is spoken of in some books. It must become real for us, just as these things are real. Sri Ramakrishna would say, these are actually imbued with God. I see God has become all this. He was seeing God and nothing else really. Everything else was seen as a shape given to that God, as it were. So, there is no need to know everything about God. What is the need? It is enough we only realize Him. And we see God Himself if we but see His incarnation. That is another beautiful way of explaining, friends. That you see the incarnation of God, that is also seeing God. Suppose a person goes to the Ganges and touches its water. He will say, yes, I have seen and touched the Ganges. To say this, it is not necessary for him to touch the whole length of the river from Haridwar to Ganga Sagar. No, he then continues that if you touch the hair of a man, you have touched the man. You have touched the nose of a man, you have touched the man. It is so. Incarnation of God is God. Touch the incarnation of God means see the incarnation of God, converse with him, have a sense of communication and communion with that incarnation of God, and that's it. And that is what he is telling about himself. Well, look at me. You are seeing God in human form. Then Girish quoted from the discussion with Narendranath. There was, at that time, Sri Ramakrishna put these two together to argue. That was his way of having some fun when the two opposite and both very skilled debaters, they would debate that it is, and Sri Ramakrishna would be taken as the referee. It is the opinion of Sri Ramakrishna. Girish said, Narendra says that God is beyond our words and thought. God, and the master said, that is not altogether true. He is no doubt unknowable by this ordinary mind, but he can indeed be known by pure mind. The mind and intellect become pure the moment they are free from attachment to lust and greed. And just the moment they become free from this, that's it. The pure mind and pure intellect are one and the same. God is known by the pure mind. Didn't the sages and seers of the olden times see God? They realized the all-pervading consciousness by means of their inner consciousness. That is, Girish then became rather elated. Hey, today I defeated Narendra. Because Narendranath was saying, no, God cannot be seen. And Sri Ramakrishna said, no, not like that. You have to understand what Naren was saying. He was saying only this that cannot be understood by our intellect. That's true. But when it becomes pure, you can see that. So, that is because Narendra came to Sri Ramakrishna bringing this urge of the whole humanity, as it were, contained in him, that has anybody seen God? Is there a person who has experienced, tangibly seen God? And only in Sri Ramakrishna he gets this answer. Through him, Sri Ramakrishna has distributed this ancient, eternal answer to the eternal quest of mankind, that yes, God can be seen. I have seen God. I have seen God just as I see you, only more clearly, not vaguely. We see each other vaguely, therefore there is always doubt what it is. The person, we don't know much about that. A little bit how the person looks. What is going on inside we have no, let alone in the mind. Even in the body, what is going on inside do we see? And nobody sees how the digestion is going on and all that. It is, so we don't know much at all. It is, but seeing God is when we throw all this mediacy of the senses and mind, and it becomes a clear vision. Yes, I see God far more clearly. And if you do what I tell you, exactly like if you want to see an elephant, you can also see it. Just do what I want to tell you to do. Because I have seen the elephant there, you can also come with me, I will show it to you. So each of us is being addressed in this, that yes, each of us can see God and thereby make the life fulfilled. It is something that is matter of concern for everyone, because everyone wants to make life happy. I have not seen any person who says, hey, I want to make my life unhappy. Of course, one doesn't have to make it by not seeing God, it always remains unhappy. So, this is the way. It is saying the same, seeing God means going to the source of happiness, and that can be done. It is, and all sages, you can say, they very clearly mention that this love is the way to see God. That it is, Hafiz mentions it in a great poem, very short. He says, I once asked a bird, how do you fly? I asked, Hafiz says, I asked a bird, how do you fly in this gravity of darkness? And the bird replied, love lifts me. This is the darkness. But what can lift us out of this being stuck in this terrible mire? The love. Love will lift us. That is the way to see the God. God can be seen, but not by impure mind, getting more and more impure by running after the sense pleasures. So, this is the idea today. Let us take it to heart and make our life more and more full of love for the ultimate reality, the truth, the God. Thank you. Let us meditate on this thought, and then if you have questions, you may ask. Yes, any question, Jitendra?
Yes, Maharaj, there are 3 questions. First question from Swapna Ray. Maharaj, we are always living with 2 holiest person in our life, Thakur and Ma. Is it not enough to know them, try to be with them? Is it not that the best goal of our life?
Exactly. But we have to live with Thakur, Ma, Swamiji, that to see that attraction to them has to become more and more, and the attraction that is getting frittered away to various other things in life must be stopped. Otherwise we are loving God, but you know how much percentage of love goes to God? Think of it. How much, big holes are there in the boiler. Like we have the boiler, and once it was all, they full of, the holes were there. So therefore the steam was not able to heat the rooms above there, because nothing was reaching there. So our love gets to our body, our kith and kin, relations, the society, and all that we like and all that, to various political situations. Our love just goes in that direction. It is frittered away. So how much love is left for God? Just think of it. When these holes are plugged, then the love will grow and become then the tool of realizing God. So the life should be directed like that. That yes, you have love for Thakur, Ma, that's enough. But it should become an intense love sans the frittering away of love in all other directions. Thank you.
Next two questions from Lakshman Thakur.
Yes.
Question 1. Maharaj, you said you would tell us more about two samadhis when you have them. As a reminder, Maharaj, I think now there have been 2 whole full weeks, so please tell us about these, Maharaj.
It is, this topic today is different, but I can tell if one develops love for God, then one gets united with God, and that is samadhi. Samadhi means the mind concentrated, and love is the tool that concentrates the mind. When you are in love with something, all other things get, as it were, obliterated from consciousness. Yeah, it is somebody watching a very tough, very intently watching the football game. Even if there is a thorn pricking, won't even think about it, wouldn't even know that there is a thorn pricking, because the whole mind is concentrated there. So, that is how in samadhi, when you love God, then the mind will get only to God, and that is the one way of understanding samadhi. Don't worry about the varieties of samadhi, this samadhi and that samadhi and that samadhi. Just have concentration for God. When you get that, then you can think about the variety, and then you can tell me that which variety is which. Thank you.
Question 2 from Lakshman Thakur again. Maharaj, that time you also mentioned being aware of Lord as one is aware of a constant toothache. Some emphasize this, remembering Lord as 24/7 during waking state. Please comment if devotee should try to cultivate this 24/7 Lord's toothache as a practice.
Don't get toothache. Not necessary. It is an example, not that if you develop toothache, you will realize God. I can tell you from my example, for last about 30 years, I am being bothered by the problem of teeth. But that has not helped me to realize God, So that is not exactly the way. What is meant there, what Sri Ramakrishna says, is that when there is something that is bothering, then a part of mind is always dwelling on it. So it is like that whatever other things one is doing, if there is the toothache, then you are always aware of the toothache. Even if you are behaving in a normal way, that yes, I am giving all the classes and Sunday lectures and all that, but there is a feelings. Right now, fortunately, there is no toothache at the moment. But when there is, I am doing most of the things. But there is the feeling of pain there. So, like that, keep some part of the mind always tuned to God. That is the idea in that. Thank you. So, any question here? You have a question, Chet?
Yes, Swamiji.
Please.
I have a question on the word see, right? To me, the only way I can reconcile multiplicity and non-duality is that you have intuitive realization that all somehow makes sense, even though if you have a stake in any one thing, you can't see that, and you always view it from your point of view. So is seeing God the right word, or is it more of an intuitive understanding?
That is, yes, correct. Seeing doesn't mean seeing just by these eyes. These eyes are meant to see multiplicity. But therefore it is said you have to train that. One needs to train to see the screen when the movie is going on. that your eyes are seeing only the pictures, but then you are still constantly aware that there is this screen that is real in that. And therefore, even when you see a fire going on in the movie, you do not take out your mobile cell phone and then dial the 911 because you know it is the screen alone that is real there. So, that kind of seeing, I mean. Thank you. So, let me tell you about the next programs and then concluding prayers, and then we will be having the arati. Well, next Sunday we will be in a way celebrating the birth anniversary of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Not a big celebration, but main teaching of his is power of the name. So that is the topic of discussion next Sunday. Power of the name. That is not any name but the name that we connect to God. The name of God. So the Tuesday, Friday lectures will go on as usual at 7:30 p.m. They can be attended in person with restrictions, of course. People have to wear face masks and all that. And also they are available online. Then at morning and evening prayer and meditation sessions also are going on as given in the schedule. So you are welcome to take advantage of all these, and we will conclude with this session with the closing prayer. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of the Native Americans, Ahura Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.
source of more. Oh Lord, yet you are the basis of more. Great light of all lights blazing in the heart's gate. Great light of all lights blazing in the heart's gate. Darkness is destroyed by your light. Oh Lord, darkness is destroyed by your light. The langa ranga bhanga, these are all the sounds of mridanga. The langa ranga bhanga, these are all the sounds of mridanga. Spiritual songs devotees are singing for your worship divine. Spiritual songs devotees are singing for your worship divine. Jaya Jaya for your worship divine. Hara Hara for your worship divine. Shiva Shiva for your worship divine. Breaker of all our worldly bondage and adored by all, we adore you too. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji ki Jai. Auspicious and blessed graciousness sublime, all noble ends you give to us, granting us refuge, all seeing Gauri. O Mother Divine, our love to you. Creation, preservation, dissolution are your powers, eternal one. Nature's real basis, nature's essence. O Mother Divine, our love to you. We come seeking refuge from anguish. Be our Savior through your deep concern. All our suffering remove, Goddess. O Mother Divine, our Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Jai Shri Ramakrishna Deva Ki Jai. Jai Shri Sarada Devi Ki Jai. Jai Shri Swami Vivekananda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Buddha Deva Ki Jai. Jai Shri Jesus Christ